Well, greetings and welcome to the Gonzo Lounge. I am your host, Blake Wally. Welcome to episode one, sort of a soft opening, as I've been on quite a hiatus, almost a year now. In fact, so this is a test program, if you will. I just want to even see if I'm. Oh, I am live. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was seeing the preview, but here we go. I've got a fantastic show, but been a while just to catch anybody up who may be watching this. Going to test a few things out, try a late night format, make it a little more casual. Been pretty demoralized since the Charlie Kirk assassination. Kind of changed everything. And I didn't really like the way things unfolded after that with the split of MAGA versus MIGA, if you want to call it that, or we say the Iran war. That was another thing. So, where I've been supportive of Trump and MAGA and was hoping for some good things in this second term. It's been a bit of a disappointment now as we head into midterms. So, decided I wouldn't want to stick my neck out like Charlie Kirk, and it just got ugly there with so many of the influencers, the big civil war. I just did not want to get tangled up into any of that shit show. I'm the shit show supervisor, coincidentally, today. But yeah, this the ugliness, watching the Candace Owens and the Laura Loomers and everybody throwing down and suing each other and trying to destroy each other's lives, doxing. It's really disgusting. It's really a sad turn of events. I really thought the Trump people, the MAGA, the libertarians were going to come together and actually make a difference. And we just got the big rug pull. So things have changed. The tone is different now. Sorry, that is my alarm, which I'll have to reset now, depending on how we play this format going forward. So I'm not a serious news journalist per se, but I am serious about the news. So I will try to we'll play around. Maybe we'll make some more content. I've still been doing a weekly show, Toxically Masculine Tuesdays, with Mike Barra, Trail Boss Steve Doran, Dr. Brooks Agnew. So I've been active, but it's time to make some more solo content. So here we go. As we head into the midterms and everything's changing. I used to be the red pill, blue pill guy. And now I'm more of the red pill, black pill. We'll try. We'll see what's in store for humanity. So I do have some interesting topics. And of course, here is the thumbnail for today, made by Grok Imagine, actually. And even though it's on Canva, both terrific programs. But I've got to say, Grok has been extremely impressive. Not only just as far as any questions you may have, but as far as just the making the images, the video. He's a premium membership, but yeah, just asking, hey, can you make a cool? Not that I didn't ask it for a thumbnail per se, just a Gonzo Lounge picture. And if I had a little more time, I could certainly jazz that up, make it more into a proper thumbnail. But anyway, it's a soft opening. It's a test show. I might just shove it down the memory hole. Nobody will ever see it. So who knows? But anyway, thank you for being here. I should probably cover a few headlines. Maybe I should even turn the music down a tad in case that is distracting. I don't know. We'll find out. This is a rough draft, and I have no idea what it sounds like on the other end until somebody pops into the chat to tell me, or I hear the recording. And then we'll find out. We'll fine tune it, and if I decide to continue, because I've got some interesting plans to put stuff up. Still a lot of interesting topics in the news to cover, as always. So, time to produce something and have a little fun with creativity and such. So, here we go. Let's see. What do I have on tap? Of course, the Charlie Kirk we're going to go into the preview, I suppose, of Candace Owens' debate versus Andrew Wilson this Friday. Everybody's getting ready. This should be the one of the biggest debates you could possibly script. This is like a prized boxing fight for those that are at least on Twitter X and in these spheres. You would never know about it on regular television. But certainly a huge deal. We already got like a $300,000 on the table. It was $500,000. They dropped it down to $300,000, and there's going to be plenty of news on that, so we can unpack that. Look at some of the highlights. Kind of pick up where I left off. In fact, because this is. Let's get to. Here's my website. Defunct. Been sitting there a while. I got old news on there. There's yeah. Good old Trump there with different high hopes. I think that was my second to last broadcast right there. Who killed Charlie Kirk? Was it the leftists or was it the Zionists? Interesting. You know, that's actually aged very well. But yeah, it was just such an ugly time, and everything changed after that. Kind of like, I guess, just a JFK of our generation, man. Everything stopped. Timeline shifted. And it hasn't been good. There hasn't been a lot of good news since. And I just didn't know if I was just going to run for the hills after everything was said and done. Do I even want to bother getting involved in this? And then just watching the influencers attack each other. And just like, do I really want to get on the internet and just get into flame wars with these like paid mercenaries? And the answer was no. Like, I got to take a step back and reevaluate whether I even want to do stuff like this anymore. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm not, I'm just going to, we'll run a late night. We'll run it casual. Doesn't have to be, I'm not going to do serious journalism or pretend that I'm trying to pursue a serious journalism career at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays. So, anyways, we'll try the late night format. I think this is I think this is where it needs to be, but we'll see. Okay, so that's topic number 1. Number 2, definitely got to sound off on this Iran war. Some really terrible developments with that one. Wasn't pleased with this direction, but now I'm going to cover it. So here we go. Oh, look at there's baby right there. Based on the old show, an old Cracker Barrel. That's how long it's been. So who killed Kirk? And, well, so many others. Although there is a couple of more recent articles, including Tyler Robinson, a hearing of hearsay and horse shit. Well, kind of shows you where my opinions lean, but we'll dig into that. I'm going to try to be objective about all of that. And, of course, anybody who might be out there watching, you are more than welcome to sound off on the chat, roast me, call me out, give me a hard time, especially late night, get all the trolls out. Eventually, as I get out there, I have no idea if this is even broadcasting on some of the destinations it was intended to, but we'll work on that. And I didn't announce anything. It just sort of happened. So here we go. And what else? I got a couple of fun ones. I know, really, we'll talk about dystopian game shows, perhaps. And of course, things worth going back into the Matrix for, if you believe in that sort of thing. But yes, we'll have a couple of fun topics, and hopefully we can, hopefully it'll all turn out in some way. Whether you're listening live or whether I clip these little segments, little highlights for another day, we shall see. Also curious if this music is too loud. It's down about as low as it gets, but I don't know if that's some people find that distracting. But now I have switched. I have upgraded. I've got a better headset here, some audio, video, I got to upgrade the video, but one step at a time. First thing, getting the first show over with. So let's run a quick intro, and then I'll be back on the other side, and we will get into all the fun stuff, maybe even a few other notes. We shall see. Let me gather myself, and here we go. Little just repurposed an old one, but here we go. Welcome back to the Gonzo Lounge, episode 1. I'm your host, Blake Wally. Blake Wally, Gonzo journalist, eccentric, producer extraordinaire. Maybe. I've been doing this for 15 years, but I'm, little do you know. But the previous brand was Eccentric Perspective. Maybe that's a little too complicated. So we'll switch it up a little bit. So good evening to all the degenerates, dissidents, doom enjoyers, the suspicious optimists, innocent bystanders, the soft opening of the Gonzo Lounge, late night musings from the edge of the absurdist dystopia, a new late night experiment, serious topics, unserious posture. I'm already slipping in this thing. Okay, independent infotainment and whatever happens when political collapse meets performance art after 10 o'clock Central Time, anyway. So, disclaimer, this is Gonzo journalism, political theater, late night infotainment. I may be wrong, I may be early, I may be joking, I may not be joking. Check the receipts, date the theories. Never join a cult. I'm here to speak to your common sense, challenge your critical thinking skills, repurposing old intros from old shows. It's a red pill, blue pill, going down the rabbit hole kind of show. But, no, wait, I am your shit show supervisor. Welcome in. Glad you could make it, if you're here. If you're watching the replay. Who is this guy? Just some weirdo? Rambling? Okay, actually, it was other interesting night. Actually, a perfect night to launch a new podcast. We just had this weird eclipse, and now it's like the closing an old chapter and opening a new one. It's a new moon, if you're into astrology. So, that's an awesome view. I'll show a couple more. Excuse me, late at night. Just had dinner. Okay, I'll try to mind myself here. How about... I had a couple other ones. I was going to save them. Here's another one. Spain just went dark in the middle of the day. Total solar eclipse. This was in Tarragona. Let's take a run this video. All right, and then this one. Okay, there we go. Those are the 3 cool ones that I found that I will share. You can see in case you missed it. Unless you were in Spain, if you were in the right time zone, they got quite a show. I don't know if we had anything. I probably had rain here in Music City, Nashville. I didn't even notice, but the eclipse has happened. And we're still here. Some were speculating. I don't know if there was going to be Earth was going to lose its atmosphere for 7 seconds. There was some weird shit going on. But fortunately, or unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe the people, they should put us out of our misery. We don't deserve anymore. I don't know. Make way for a different species. Sorry, but maybe not. I'm trying to keep my hope for humanity. This was the intention 15 years ago. We're just going to beat the elites and then we're going to have this awesome world and everything's going to be great. To now, oh my God. Okay, even we've had Trump 1, Trump 2. We've had the Patriots in control and everything's going to be great and we're going to take down the deep state. We had this awesome Star Trek future. We're going to build a great civilization. We just had to get rid of the cabal. But you know what? It's more complicated than that, unfortunately. So it's going to be a battle, and it might not be won. The Earth will still go on. Humanity will survive. Hopefully, learn some lessons out of this. Although some speculate maybe this is the weakest part of the cycle. And then there's going to be a golden age, and that where humanity will come back in some bigger, better way. Maybe it'll take hundreds of years to rebuild civilization again. I don't know. It's funny. I just watched The Odyssey finally on Monday, and that was an outstanding movie. I could nitpick about things with the casting and whatnot, but let's not. The movie was spectacular, but it's also interesting. It's kind of like it symbolized the end of the Bronze Age. It was like, here's the sea people. It's the end of the siege of Troy, and it's about the Bronze Age collapse, which is something I think is a cyclical thing that happens to the Earth every few thousand years, and we could be heading for something similar to that, where civilization is just unraveling and no one cares, and the elites are just they're just here to capitalize and run for their bunkers. They don't give a shit about us. So maybe there's nothing we can do about it anyway, which is the greatest conspiracy I've discovered to this day. And hopefully it's not true. But hey, I'm just going to cover it no matter what. And I hope somebody proves me wrong. Don't want to get blackpilled, because this is all part of the soul's journey. This is, even if I'm right in these theories and things are going to end, at some point you can look back and go, holy shit, we were on Earth at the great collapse of this civilization. You have a front row seat to the greatest movie ever made. So that's cool in itself, if nothing happens. But maybe there's a happy ending in here. We shall find out. But I have no idea. It hasn't finished yet. It's still going on. There's still plenty of time. Though it's going very quickly and things are unraveling very quickly. So, where to begin? We're going to go to the Candace stuff, because that's one of the biggest topics going on. Is there anything bigger than Charlie Kirk, the deep state, and of course the war with Iran? So we've got a couple of major things happening. One internal, one external. It doesn't matter. Let's just go to, how about, if I could find the page I'm looking for. Here we go. Let's start with Candace. Here it is. So she apparently canceled her show today in light of some breaking news, but of course also getting ready for the big showdown on Friday, which should be very exciting, and everybody's going to be tuned in, because this is one of those, you either are totally on board and you either love Candace or hate her, and there are plenty of people on both sides of this. This is about as polarizing as it gets. It's about as high stakes as it gets, because this is going to determine credibility for so many influencers, journalists, reporters on who got some of these stories right. I think it should be a contest, but everybody's going to be looking to tear people down. Like, you got on the wrong side of this and you're finished. And there are a lot of, like I said, there's paid mercenaries in this industry. There are a ton of influencers. I've never even heard of. They have big followings. They don't even seem to be real people at all, but they influence opinions, and they'll sit there and attack. They're presumably getting paid because they have so much reach. We know they are. And some of them are just lunatics. And some of them look like they're actually they're blackmailed. Like, I don't even know if they're getting paid or if somebody's just pulling their strings. It could be both. Cut a deal. I won't know how much I'm going to get into that on this particular episode. This is a soft opening. So, but here we go. This is the evidence is overwhelming. This is the great quote. Because, as I pointed out on the website, hearsay and horse shit. This is kind of how I summed it up, and I was trying to be just objective and neutral about it, of just what I saw at the preliminary hearing. And I was just not convinced at all. And I was surprised when Benny Johnson and Jack Posobiec came out and were like, oh, yeah, it's like crystal clear 4K footage. We saw it all go down. Oh, my God. And no, you didn't. Everything has been like hearsay from the testimony of this shady, suspicious, furry character known as Lance Twiggs. Very complicated. Could be an FBI informant. Could be just a normal dude who's misunderstood. I don't know. None of us do it. He wasn't cross-examined. He didn't, we haven't had the trial yet. So basically we just have a few testimony and we have some written supposed confessions, but nothing really completely confirmed, although it seems like every day things get swayed and there's some big story and then the other side pulls it. But we'll get into that. So this frame here of supposedly Tyler Robinson, apparently it was compressed in a way where people looked at it and they got the idea that is definitely Tyler Robinson because he's thin and it looks like previous with the few pictures that we've seen of him at Dairy Queen and also in a video where he's getting his college acceptance, reading his letter. He's at a traffic stop. He's just nobody looks like. But they showed the guy in this black sweatshirt or long sleeve shirt in the hallway. It's not really apparent that it's him or that he's walking down the stairs and he has some kind of limp and we're supposed to assume that he's got a giant gun shoved down his pants. Like the story just isn't adding up. There's no definite picture of Tyler with the gun. It's not clear that the gun was used. There was dust on it. The dogs couldn't find it. They look, the timelines don't match up, and there's no physical possible way for a high-powered hunting rifle to shoot a person in the soft tissue of the neck and not have an exit wound. So there was many problems with the story, and then the police looking, and then the body cam goes out. Like there's just so many oddities. We're kind of like really dismissing this is pretty far-fetched that you're going to say beyond a reasonable doubt that Tyler's definitely the shooter based on what? Based on what this furry Lance Twiggs guy who might be a federal asset says, and we haven't even heard Tyler speak yet, and just alleged confessions, allegedly did this, set on a Discord to mysterious people. We don't even know who they are, but we're supposed to buy the story. But from everything I've seen, it looks like he's a patsy. This is Oswald. This is JFK number 2. And you got another charismatic Chicago boy who was probably going to be president just like JFK. Anyway. So the evidence was not overwhelming. Candace says, yeah, that Charlie knew he could count on me to stand up to every single person who would ultimately betray him. See, I'm on the Team Candace. I don't embrace all of the kookier theories. And they're real. I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole. And the Egyptian planes, and here they were, and this is what, I want to stay out of that. I'm just kind of in show me the evidence that Tyler did it. Otherwise, this looks like an inside job and they need to start talking to the security team because everything looks really suspicious with the people that were trying to, running his company. They didn't just go away. So it looks like they had every reason to. There's a lot of financial incentive into running his company in somebody else's way. That's the thing with Charlie. He wanted a certain way, and he had a A lot of conflicts going on with donors and other insiders around him. So it's totally conceivable that he could be moved, just like JFK. JFK didn't want war. He didn't want to be steered around by the CIA, and he didn't play ball. So they just made a deal. Let VP take over, LBJ take over, and this put us into war. Got him out of the way. He became a liability. They couldn't control him, so they had to take him out. And that's kind of been ended on it. Now, I'm not saying, Israel did it, but I pointed out on my website who killed who killed Charlie, the leftists or the Zionists? Who had the most to gain? The only thing I could say is that Israel does have the most to gain because they were losing his support. And now the company is, back in alignment with, certain interests. So, was there foul play involved? Perhaps. Perhaps it was Tyler. We don't entirely know. But so far, with the evidence shown, I'm not convinced. Many other people aren't. But the story's not going away, and there's a lot of heated opinions on there. Very divisive. Influencers just tearing themselves down. And I've thrown down in some of these circles as well, calling people out and whatnot. Because it needs to. We got to battle these things out. I don't think anybody should have like a really strong opinion except for let's get to the truth no matter what it is. But so many people just want to say, hey, it's definitely Tyler Robinson without a doubt. It's overwhelming evidence. Just throw him away. Like based on what? Yeah, it's easier to believe that. Oh, it's just a crazy leftist who's, and then we could just attack the left and everything was like, yeah, let's attack them. But I think that was the point. That's why I think this whole thing was staged. I could be wrong. I'm just some late night gonzo journalist, infotainer wacko. So dismiss it. I don't care. I'll always trust your gut. I'll try to get it right. I'll try to give it to you straight. I don't get paid for this. Maybe I will someday, and maybe someday I'll change my tune. For now, I just want to tell the truth. It is this it's fascinating living in this absurdist dystopia. The horror. It's fascinating and it's horrifying at the same time. Not the way I thought things would turn out. That's for damn sure. But anyway, let's move on. So, Candace is right. So the people say she's jealous or something. No, she's fighting for that. Charlie was her very good friend. So that's just the fact. And I respect her for doing what she's doing. And if she's wrong, hey, we'll find out. Hey, and Friday's going to go a long way. But there's been some interesting developments on that front. Here's from Lionel Media, calling him Pickles Wilson. It's Andrew Wilson. I don't know. He's a mysterious guy. He's on. I don't know if he's on some show called Whatever. But I don't know if he's a full-time host. But he appears on it and he interviews and talks to like teenage girls and things. I'm not like totally ripping on him. I didn't know who he was. I don't really care. It's not really my type of content that I seek out. So I don't have a dog in that fight. But since he's thrown himself out there, and I guess he's some sort of debate expert. And in fact, Turning Point USA or Daily Wire, I forget, one of the two, like hired him to like teach their people about how to debate skills and what have you. So I guess he's kind of a big deal, but we don't have a lot of history on him. But he was bragging, how much money he was going to throw to get into a debate with Candace. And it felt like it was just a cheap thing. It was just going to be, getting clicks and just, gotcha stuff. The juvenile stuff is just kind of what I expected for why should she take some interview with just some random guy throwing a bunch of money at her. But then he shows up, but he gets invited onto Rogan, which was surprising. Um, I wouldn't think Rogan would have somebody like that on. Maybe there was a financial incentive. I don't even care if there was. But the fact it did get the ball rolling, regardless. So he was bragging, "Oh yeah, I've been challenging Candace Owens to a debate, and she's just ducking me. I'm throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she's ignoring me." But once he was on Rogan, that certainly got her attention, and I think he claimed 500,000. So it got up to 500,000 that he was like, "Oh yeah, see, this is why I'm right." And Candace is afraid to talk about the Charlie Kirk assassination because I'm such a good debater, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so people saying she's greedy because it's 500,000 is too much. So they dial it down to 300,000. And now it turns out that they didn't even have the money. So presumably it was going to be paid from either, you got the Daily Wire or Turning Point USA. They seem to be kind of joined at the hip lately. So, and especially they're both very anti-Candace. So, and I guess Ben Shapiro's longtime nemesis of Charlie Kirk. So, anyway, so it turns out there was no money, so now he's doing a give, send, go. Like, oh, I'm a big tough guy, and I'm challenging you, and now you don't even have the money that you said that you challenged her for, so you have to fundraise it. So this is really weird. So it's good to see Lionel calling it out. He wanted a shot at debating Candace on one of the biggest platforms imaginable. Got it. And then what becomes harder to defend is asking everyone to reimburse him for the cost of obtaining that. So it wasn't just like, oh, okay, yeah, here's the money, I'm ready to go. It's, oh, I don't have the money, I gotta raise it. Like, what? That was his intention all along, was that he was just going to be able to raise it because everybody loves him so much. I mean, there's plenty of people that could raise his money that do want to see this. This is in the public interest. You could sell tickets to shit like this. But on like short notice, like you just told this the other day, like this debate's supposed to be Friday after they finally got the terms down, which was not easy because Candace is pregnant, she's not going to travel, and then Andrew's a chronic chain smoker, so they had to get some of that right. And of course, trying to figure, you got to have a team, they got to have a team, keep everybody honest, do live fact checking. I've got Patrick David Bett as the moderator. Anyway, so that was an odd twist, but so that's it. So we don't even know if he's got the money yet. And let's go. So what do we call him? Andrew Pickles Wilson will be, because he got called out. He couldn't open one of his embarrassing moments is that he was unable, apparently, on at least one occasion, to unable to open a jar of pickles, or it was technically olives. And so that was a bad moment because the girl did it, because it's just all this male-female lifestyle culture stuff. Again, I have zero interest in the content. That's not even knocking him. But he's just kind of a sleazeball TMZ type stuff that I just really not too interested in. But since he's thrown down the gauntlet and they're talking about the most high-profile assassination since JFK, guess we're going to discuss it. So it also turns out the other thing about him is that he's got kind of this weird family situation. So he's ripping on a lesbian on one of his shows, and she called him out because his wife apparently has 2 other baby daddies. So he's got like kids that aren't his, and is whatever. Again, we don't play like you're a big Christian, you're a lifestyle guy, and then you're really not a model citizen for what you're talking about. So he got called out on that. He's been embarrassed a couple times, so they made a funny AI video just showing, in case you didn't know the background, here it is. I provided the context without showing all of the videos, but here we go. And keep in mind, this is the late night hour, so there might be some profanity, so cover your ears if you're sensitive. But here we go. Here's Andrew Wilson, an AI, Andrew Wilson and his family as he preps for a stressful week. Yeah. Hey, man, maybe the script could use a little work, but that was still pretty damn good. And the video is fantastic. So they really captured that. And poor Andrew and his feeble little arms. He's a chain smoker. He's not very healthy. So they're rubbing it in a little at his expense. And maybe he deserves it. Normally I wouldn't care. But again, he's in my arena now. He's on my radar. Congratulations. Well, we'll see what happens Friday, because that is going to be the showdown of showdowns. The master debater versus feisty Candace Owens fighting for the truth for her friend. And they get justice. So, here's one of the people that's been divisive. Kana Koa the Great. So, made a name for himself as a, seems like a pretty good journalist over the last few years, even though we don't really know who he is. Mysterious guy, but he's a great writer. He's been on the right side of so many other issues. He's gained plenty of credibility. But he's gone hardcore on the anti-Candace and it's definitely Tyler Robinson, overwhelming evidence, yeah. And every time there's some little thing, like today, there was some breaking news on that. And so this side just jumped all over that. So Tyler Robinson's defense just filed its probable cause brief, and it's revealing for what it doesn't argue. And he says, nowhere in it do his lawyers argue that Robinson is innocent, that there was another shooter, that Charlie wasn't shot, that the microphone exploded, that the rooftop guy wasn't involved, that the recovered 30-06 was never fired, and that the confession messages were fake. So it sounds compelling. And I am not a lawyer, so I don't know. So I have to look at the comments. I have to look at other people who are lawyers, get their opinion, because I'm not going to read through 41 pages of legalese to figure out give my opinion. I have no idea. I'm just a Gonzo guy. He calls it out. Just give the analysis later. So, I'm sorry, it's 33 pages. Whatever. Anyway, but here's the rebuttal to that. So here's from Diligent Citizen saying every single influencer telling you that the defense is not pushing back the charge of Tyler Robinson murdering is lying. It's right here. Right there. Says the court must decline bind on all charges, including killing Kirk. Treat accordingly. So this says that the state has failed to prove probable cause by reliable evidence that satisfies each element of each of the charged evidence. It says this court must decline bind on all charges. Like I said, it's mostly on hearsay and without any definitive pictures of him there. People aren't necessarily disputing he was there on campus, it looks like. Or maybe he was at the Chick-fil-A, Dairy Queen, the steakhouse. I don't know. Well, there's another video on that. But let's listen to Baron Coleman, lawyer, Nashville. Probably the number 2 Charlie Kirk investigator next to Candace, at least on YouTube. There's a lot of very interesting people on the team skeptic, if you will. The inside job team. Not necessarily the not sure. There's the guys that think it's definitely Tyler Robinson, 100% unquestioned. They're ready. They should have just executed him by now and done us all a favor. Just wasting time, just holding everything up. Versus the, wait a second. This doesn't seem to add up. I'm not buying the official story. Looks like Fed slop. Anyway, here's one of them. So here's his brief breakdown on that. Blake. I don't claim to be a genius, but I would legalese is like kryptonite to me. So it's not everybody are into that. But I'm glad people like Baron Coleman are. This is like code, right? You got to have somebody to decode it. Even I've explained some of it. It's going to go over a lot of people's heads, to be fair. But there you go. He's bringing his analysis there. So he's calling it out, and they're not saying anything. So it seems legit. Let's run it. Let's finish this. So you can never just be direct in the legalese. You gotta be very professional. So you can overlook the details skimming through it. But if you're a lawyer, you got to go word by word. It's not really my thing. But right now you've got Blake Neff off the Turning Point team. Yeah, he was trying to slam dunk this. Like, yeah, we gotcha. It's over. It's confessed. His legal team, they've basically just given up. They're conceded. They're just trying to get out of the death penalty because they know he's guilty. It's over. Candace must be in shambles. She canceled her show today. But no, the showdown is Friday. She's not scared. But here's Blakey Poo. Blake. Blakey Poo, community noted. Blake Neff, community noted for lying to the American people about the Tyler Robinson hearing. Because here is what it says. The defense filing is a preliminary hearing, brief argument that the state failed to meet its burden of probable cause for death penalty eligibility. It does not admit guilt or identity. It argues the state's own evidence does not support its legal claims. See, it's easy to overlook. It's not direct. Anyway, that's pretty. So there isn't anything. So there's another big nothing burger. So take that, the Kanakawa, the great, was the great, the formerly the great, whoever you are, and everybody else dancing, jumping for joy. You had nothing. You wanted to believe it. And I'm not saying, hey, I don't know what's happened. But it looks less and less like it's Tyler Robinson. I don't know who did it. I'm not saying you can look at the security. That's where I would start. I don't know who's going to do it. This looks like a big inside job. This is JFK. There's a lot of bad actors. There's a lot of actors on this. If it's not a lone gunman, and his whatever some flunkies at the Discord chat, and Lance Twigs, his gay furry lover, allegedly. That it means it was Charlie's security team, elements of the international intelligence community, FBI, high-level people, even Don Jr. to some degree, which I hate to say. I want to like Don Jr. I wanted to like this new Trump administration, but Don Jr. is a hunter. He knows freaking damn well. He knows damn well that a 30-06 didn't kill Charlie Kirk. So it's wild to watch people I liked, people I respected, just come out hardcore on this. Just want to convict and destroy Tyler Robinson. It's strange. It'd be like if there was, they're all like Jack Rubies or something. Like they just want to take him out if they could get away with it. Case closed. He's a shooter. Kill him. So anyway, here's from Bobby Sauce, who says, it's wild watching people declare that Tyler Robinson's defense team admitted guilt. They have been... Do I have this on there? Nope, I don't have the right tab on there. Here we go. It's nice. I got 2 monitors now. I've upgraded my shit, so hopefully if this gets off the ground and I do more shows and I didn't fuck this up too terribly, there's potential here to be better organized. And I have more longer to prepare. But anyway, side issue. So they've been jeering about... So let's start all over real quick. It's wild watching people declare that Tyler Robinson's defense team admitted guilt. They have been jeering about this all day while completely missing the context of what the defense team is even arguing. And granted, there were some legitimate concerns. I don't know if this is like a public defender. I was hearing some terrifying things. I don't know what kind of legal team he has. No super loyal, no Johnny Cochran, no whatever. So I heard there was like a public defender. I don't know exactly who the defense is, but there was some concern. But we can assuage some of those concerns. Not that I'm trying to get him off in case he's guilty, but I'm saying you're innocent until proven guilty, and he just doesn't fit the profile. He feels like he's getting smeared. So, which is why I want to speak out, say something about it, without sticking my neck out too far. So now I'm just some late night conspiracy crank. Just dismiss it. What do I know? But I can still sort of read. So let's getting back here. So the people that want to stick it to Candace, and all the people that would dare suspect the wonderful people at Turning Point USA, like Blake Neff. So they accuse everybody else of not having the facts, yet they repeatedly push unproven details, hearsay, unverified digital communications, and more. Maybe Tyler is guilty. We don't know yet. But watching people just blatantly lie about this is incredible. I agree. It's one thing to share your viewpoint and be unsure, ask questions. Yeah, show a little curiosity, right? That's weird. So some guy just showed up to just shoot Charlie Kirk and he left and he got away. I'm like, what? That's an odd. The people just don't have curiosity. They just jump into the groupthink, or they want to believe something. They want to believe it's the crazy leftist. And then it's open season on the crazy communists. That would have been a simpler story. That would have been the easy story. And that's at first. That's what I believed. When it first went down, that's my thought. It was a crazed leftist. Oh my God. These people are nuts. But I don't know if it's that simple. We don't even know if he really is a leftist. So, anyway, it's something completely different to just flat out lie about what is in front of us. Yeah, it is. But a lot of these people are paid, and they are in these weird group chats. They coordinate. Maybe they don't always all have a paper trail, but it hopefully will be exposed. And these people need to be discredited. I don't know what happens to Kanakoa the Great. I don't know how who's held accountable. I don't know. Just sad it's come down to this. Anyway, here's what's interesting. Vivian Kubrick. She's the daughter of the great director Stanley Kubrick. Fun fact. But she's been on this. She's like a throwing herself into this drama, and she's been doing a spectacular job. She's very thorough, very smart, very thorough, and calling all these people out, tagging them all, asking questions, digging stuff up. Great citizen journalist so far. So, been a surprise heroine, jumping to the call of duty, calling out the BS. So she was calling out, who's this Andrew Wilson guy? He just came out of nowhere before 2020. I wonder, there's a lot of these like astroturfed activists. I don't understand it. They have like huge followings, but they came out of nowhere. And then they're just like, they're huge. In his defense, he is a real person. Unlike some of these people that just have a fake name on Twitter X and they have a couple 100,000 followers. I have no idea why. And then they push, what looks to me like blatant agitprop. But people buy it. I don't understand. That's me. I'm just covering the absurdist dystopia that I find I'm like living in a bad movie, and I'm just calling it out. Maybe some of you know that too. And welcome aboard. You're in the right place if you can find me. All right, so, but anyway, they look for ordinary searches. They tried finding them. We still don't really know. It's a mystery. Although people are speculating, or he says he worked in a bunch of factories or something. He was like looks like he was in the military. Maybe he was an intelligence asset. Could be CIA. He also admits that he's apparently a Freemason. I don't know how high up, but that's also significant. He's involved in secret society. That doesn't mean it's all bad or good, but you never know. It certainly room to question his sincerity. Is this? I keep forgetting to move here. Here we go. So I guess he's a master gunsmith and army sniper. I haven't got the video on that, so I can't confirm that. But this is a video that people are digging up. Here we go. I'm not a Mason, so I couldn't really tell you how high up you can go in a few years. They have like the Blue Lodges, the first few degrees, and it goes all the way up to I think 33. So I have no idea. But, he seems to be a shady character. He's not really giving a very definitive answer on a few things. And, he doesn't usually operate, although I guess he knows the rules of debating and he's skilled at it. He doesn't usually debate in good faith. It's a lot of gotcha, a lot of dodging, evading, probably deflecting and projecting. Well, we'll see what happens Friday. Here we go. Okay. Was. So he's not. Do you ever leave? Or is he paying his? Did he say he's paying his dues? Still have his dues cards. Do you still have to pay dues? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Mason. He's just a shady character, man. Became a big radio host. Why? I suspect a lot of these people, man, are assets. I'm just at a point. There are very few people where I trust in this industry. Anybody that's even around it anymore. But here we go. Last thing I've got on this topic. It's a video. It's 6 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it all. Actually, I don't even know how much I'm going to play because I'm already running over schedule already. Longer than I wanted to go on this segment. Giving a little backstory since I haven't covered this properly. Although I did do a show with Brian Engelman a couple weeks ago. The Agree to Disagree show, a PM show. And we did get into this topic. Made a video. It's on thenextlevelnews.com. I'm going to go check that out. Covered it pretty thoroughly. Methinks. But just the timeline of this doesn't make any sense. So let's just roll part of it, and then I'll show a few highlights, and we'll move on. This is where it gets ridiculous. Like, apparently, well, doing I mean, like, if you're planning an assassination, he's not a soldier. He's not some like cold-blooded psychopath who's like a trained military. This isn't like Barry out of HBO, and he's just seems like a normal guy, but then he can, click on he's a cold-blooded assassin with, Marine training, and he's just gonna go calmly, hey, here's about my day. I'm just gonna do a couple word puzzle games and go to Chick-fil-A. I'm hungry, and I'm just gonna go shoot this dude, and then calmly leave and go on this this endless road trip. If you'd believe the entire official story, and then suddenly he's tried to get away with it, but then he runs back to get the weapon, and he sends text messages to his gay lover. It's all ridiculous. So this video does a pretty good job. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can find it on my Twitter. I'll probably publish this on my Next Level News. It's a good video. It's a good accompaniment. Are you even pronouncing that? I don't know. It's late. It's a late night show. I'm going to mispronounce words, and I don't give a shit. All right. We'll just run it. All right. Yeah, maybe I need to do Wordle. Accompaniment. Let's look that up. We're making shit up. Oh, yeah. I got the rifle, the Mauser down his pants. Then he goes to this steakhouse. Doesn't have it, decides to go back and get it. The screwdriver, the road trip, going out of his way to go to some other gas station, confessions. You look at the timeline, and the more you look at it, the more you go, this is impossible. If he was a trained assassin, perhaps. A cold-blooded psychopath with training, he could have pulled this off. Outside of that, Definitely looks like a patsy. I could be wrong. We'll find out. So that's the Showdown Friday. Very exciting stuff. But that's all I've got on that. Okay. Let's move on. I should find a buffer. Some buffer videos. I don't have one.
Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
There we go. Welcome to Late Night. Those little goodies I've got on there. One of my favorite clips. All right. There you go. It's the fucking Gonzo Lounge, dude. Welcome. If you're here on this soft opening. All right, but let's move on. Let's the second topic. We got 4. Iran, the neocons. Let's get into it. The update. Oh, here we go. It's breaking news. Okay, here we go. From the Hormuz report. Not really breaking news. Breaking news a day and a half ago. So Iran has completely ruled out any future negotiations with the Trump administration, declaring it will wait out Donald Trump's term until January 20th, 2029. 3 years. Almost 2.5 years. Per Iranian outlets, so Trump will not reach an agreement with us. That's according to them. We will accompany him. Just use that word, accompaniment. Company. Him until his terms, that said Majid Shakari, advisor to Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf. He posted, the path to victory is neither fighting nor a deal. It is managing the process of neither war nor peace up to the point of victory, publicly confirming negotiations with the U.S. is sheer folly. The winning approach is denial, ambiguity, and strategic patience. Okay, well said. Iran's conditions remain unchanged. They want $300 billion in compensation, release of frozen assets, and withdrawal of U.S. forces. Until then, the strait stays closed. So that's not a good development. After we've been playing the footsie game back and forth, is the strait open? Is it closed? Is there war? Is there not? Is the blockade there? I don't know. But no, but it seemed several times that we were on the verge of making a deal, and that the U.S. we were going to make some concessions and just say, hey, let's open this up. Let's be done with this war. Yeah, we'll pay you some money. Sorry, we bombed your the school full of little girls. Sorry, we just bombed your leader. Sorry, we unprovoked, bombed, attacked whatever nuclear facilities you had, or tried to smuggle uranium out and destroying infrastructure. And so Iran is like, hey, yeah, that sucks. Can you at least pay for it and unfreeze some of the money that you've frozen of ours in the past and just get off our lawn and let everybody else continue to conduct business? I think it's been pretty reasonable, but the neocons and all the Israel firsters and all of the Zionists don't like that. And Israel seems to be the one to constantly reject any deals. And they're the only country in the world, as far as I know, that wants this war. I mean, is there another country that wants this war? The old boomers in America that get their news from Fox, which more and more so seems like a Israeli Zionist propaganda outlet. In fact, when you view it through that lens, it will make perfect sense. And I've seen a lot of Fox News without getting it, a lot over the years. And it's really wild the last few. After 10/7 and especially into this Iran war. So it's like an alternate reality where they think that there's going to be an unconditional surrender and we're winning this war. And we got to finish it off. But the reality is Israel's the one that wants the war. And they're undermining the peace agreements. And we can't give any concessions. So we're just going to keep things going. Much like the Ukraine war. We're going to keep funding it, supplying weapons. And look, that's burned us now because now we're running out of munitions. We don't have enough defense missiles. Now, it's easy to make certain missiles, right? Or drones or what have you, simple technology. But when you're talking about like defensive missiles and the sophisticated navigation systems and what have you, to try to go after other missiles that are moving, they're really expensive and they take a long time. And we're running out of those because we fire a lot of defensive per offensive missile that somebody else launches. It takes a few missiles to take those down. So we're going through munitions very quickly, even the largest military on the planet. So that's another major concern that we have. We're stretched too thin. So we have a problem. Never should have gotten involved in the first place. The strait was open. Everything was fine. Until Israel and their intelligence seems like a same playbook as Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction. We got to get involved. And of course, the war machine, the neocons, they love that stuff. And there's big ratings, big money. They're on board. But man, the average people in this country are really hurting. We didn't need this. And the people didn't vote for Trump to go into another war. This was what he was supposed to not ever do. We're never going to get into another Middle Eastern conflict. And then boom, we're right into one. Because Israel, not that I have any love for Iranians or any of Israel's enemies. I don't want to get involved in any of that shit. We got a lot of problems to fix in this country first before we can get involved in this. And nobody's winning this one. Nobody. There are going to be no winners in this. Except maybe Israel. If we could actually get rid of the whole Iranian regime and they could feel safe again because they're not going to build a nuclear weapon someday and fire it at them. It's ridiculous. But here we are. So let's continue. Well, we're in this absurdist dystopia now. So I don't know if Trump has even checked in anymore. It looks like he's fallen asleep. This was a wild video from the other day. What the hell are we watching? This is what the Trump administration has turned into. You catch this? I mean, this is surreal. Absurdist dystopia right here. So what in the sweet ever-loving name of? This is like a Saturday Night Live skit going on in the this shit show. Brad Stahl on animatronic mode. So this person, I don't even know if it's human. Many people are saying it's probably not. Trump is falling asleep. RFK is like twitching out. Who knows what he's on? And then we have this other lady here, the female prison warden. Oh yeah, see, Brat's on animatronic mode. A grandpa passed his medication hour, a shaking Adderall addict, and a female prison warden in a room. It looks like a copper art store vomited up inside it. I don't even get that reference, but let's just go with it. This is messed up. It's the state of our country. This is our leadership. And I had such high hopes. Looks like it's crumbling. I think the midterms are going to be a disaster. This was a good meeting, though. I mean, they're trying to reduce the vaccine schedule. But it was just the odd scene. Oh, my God. I don't know what's happening anymore. Not what I thought was going to happen. Let's take a closer look at the robot. Oh, I actually called it out. It's one of my tweets. We're living in an absurdist dystopia already, and it's only going to get weirder from here. Here's the cyborg. The bobblehead. Is that human? That is bizarre. All right. I thought there was one more. Oh, yeah, she does speak. Let's take a quick look. That's all I got. What? I don't know if she's like some young assistant, but it seems like it's an odd person to have as like, this is your voice of expertise. So you're talking about like reducing the scheduled vaccines. They give kids probably way too many, which could be a bad thing. Like maybe we could totally argue that kids could use a few, right? Who's going to be around other school kids. There's some diseases there is a vaccine science, but there's also a lot of stuff that perhaps they don't need, and it could be doing more harm than good. It's like this is their spokesperson, but she seems so young and out of place. So it makes me wonder. I mean, people are thinking she's a robot. Maybe she is a robot. Maybe this is how they avoid the liability. Because it'd be like if they actually wanted to go after, like, oh, who is this crazy person who wants to get rid of she's the anti-vaxxer getting rid of it. And they can say, no, oh, she's fake. She can just disappear. She's nobody. It feels like they're messing with the public. Are they testing this to see if they can get away with it? Because the robotics have to be at this level, if not more so. I don't know. Explain why she's the expert. Maybe she's just some young virtuoso. She's a super genius. I don't know. But she's there at a huge meeting with RFK and Trump. He's barely present. He's falling asleep. I mean, he probably works 20 hours a day. I'll give him a pass. But just a very odd scene. It's very symbolic of the dystopia we're living in. Yeah, we're not anti-vaccine. We're just pro-common sense. Anyway, there she is. Or maybe she's going to be the new press secretary because Caroline Leavitt. Caroline. She's out. I think she's still going to play some advisory role. Done taking arrows for the administration. She's great. Very talented. I liked what she brought the thunder when she first got in there. But now it's been, covering for the administration. So maybe she can take a step back in a better position. Good for her. Because we got a problem here with this administration and the MAGA MIGA split. So this is the new face of MAGA. The never Trump neocons are now MAGA. That's according to Trump. He basically threw us, all the OG MAGA, under the bus. Called us all low IQ, The Alex Joneses, the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlsons, the Megyn Kellys. And he's embraced the never Trump neocons. So we've convinced him to go to war to our own detriment. It's been very bad. So here's another tweet of mine. We'll run a part of it. I'll clean up some of the language, even though it's late night. I could go with it. But yeah, this guy, he's ranting and raving on his Fox News broadcast, which Trump watches, which is also disturbing. He takes advice from this guy, the never Trump neocon, who just can't get enough war. And he represents the interest of a foreign country over America, which is disturbing. These people need to go. These dinosaurs have to go. But he's crashing out because he wants, the young men of America to go fight in Iran. For what? I don't know. Die for Israel. So Israel feels more protected. How does that benefit Americans? Not even knocking Israel. They can do their own thing. They could lobby for us to do it. But the fact that we've already done it, we got fooled again. They told us about WMDs in Iraq. We jumped in and went, oh, oopsie, our bad. There were no WMDs. So now we're going to go for the same playbook. Oh, Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon. They've been doing that for 30 years. They're 2 weeks away. Okay. Well, how'd that work out for us? Took out the leader. Then they went back. Accidentally, I hope, took out a school of 200 little girls that got killed. Hopefully by accident. But yes, infrastructure, threatening war crimes. For what? And gas prices are through the roof. The economy's hurting. People around the world are hurting because they've closed down the Strait of Hormuz. We actually have it. We don't have it as bad as some of the other places out there. And then we haven't even hit the effects of some of the other things that are going to, just besides gasoline, fertilizer. There are going to be many problems for years to come, potentially, because of this shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz. And for what? There is no good reason. But it won't stop these the people that love Israel from wanting to get us into this war. Because someday they might come after us. Anyway, yeah, sounds like he's suffering because Megyn Kelly called him Mark Micropenis. So he needs real men to go sacrifice themselves to make up for his physical and psychological shortcomings. Of course, he won't send his own kids. Got to be other people's kids. Yeah, I roasted him again. I said the never Trump Israel first neocons just screwed our country. May have cost us the midterms already. But now they need more war to prevent a forever war. And that's how we win. So this is the logic of the Israel firsters. The surest way to lose the midterms is to look like a loser in this war. This is according to Mark Levin, who's just constantly just angry. I don't know. I can't listen to that guy. He says the surest way to lose the midterms is to look like a loser in this war. It also happens to be the surest way to ensure a forever war involving future generations of Americans. We will need to do more than declare victory by circumventing the Strait of Hormuz, blah, blah, blah. So now we can't leave the war because we don't want to look like losers. So if we go in and finish the job, and God knows how many people we would have to send in to Iran to take it over, because you can only do so much by the air. How many lives could be lost potentially to try to take over a country like that? Who already hates us now? We're not going to be greeted as the liberators anymore. That went out the window when we took out the leader and those schoolgirls. And then whatever infrastructure we destroyed. They hate us. Or at least they hate our government. So. But this is the thing. Because someday they might make a nuclear weapon. So now we have to go and preemptively attack them. This makes no sense. So why are we letting Israel dictate our foreign policy? Drag us into these conflicts. I have no idea, which is why I'm here to voice my opinions about it, even late at night. There's another one with Mark Levin. Matt Gaetz has been getting into a lot of good back and forth with him, saying which neocons are calling for ground troops in Iran. Mark Levin got community noted. The little chicken hawk, the warmonger, monster, little goblin. He was saying, hey, which neocons are calling for ground troops in Iran? I heard it mentioned again. He said thrown around by the woke right isolationists. Must be a long list, so let's see it. But it just shows a few months ago he was saying, yeah, U.S. ground troops needed, even outlined that it was the 82nd Airborne and Special Forces, not the IDF, not Israeli forces. No, of course, those are God's chosen people. Got to get the Goyim to go fight your battles, cannon fodder, the peasantry. So he says, why do we need troops on the ground? Well, there's lots of reasons. So we get called out on it. So these are the people. Another sad note on this Iran war. So we brag a lot about, we took out their navy. They got no navy left. It's in the bottom of the sea. Ha ha ha. Well, they didn't really have much of a navy. A lot of it's just based on the speedboats and having mines in the strait. It's more defensive. But either way, their drone warfare is so effective, you can't put these battle carriers very close to Iran. So they've been having trouble. So they've got the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. I don't exactly know where it's stationed, but this is a frightening development. I've got this confirmed. I've heard this a couple times. This has got to be real. So 6 U.S. sailors aboard this aircraft carrier have tried to jump overboard. The conditions are so awful on this ship that they're trying to commit suicide to get out of it. That's pretty... So it's a catastrophic mental health crisis is reaching a breaking point over exhaustion, food shortages, water contamination, deteriorating conditions, supply shortages, lack of basic hygiene products, and poor quality rations aboard the carrier. This is from the Military Times. So these sailors, you go out on the boats and you get shore time. You do what you got to do. You go to shore leave. You get your sea legs. You get your land. You got to go back and forth. We're land creatures. You can't be out at sea for too long. You start to go nuts. So these 5,000 sailors and Marines have been deployed for more than 250 consecutive days. So that's over 9 months. I think I've heard that. I think they're supposed to go on shore usually every few weeks, at most. But I mean, in war conditions, obviously you could be out there for significantly longer. I'm just shocked that they're not being resupplied. This is wild. I mean, I almost want to think that I hope this is wrong, because that seems hard to believe. How could we not get them new supplies? Where are they? They haven't been able to make land. There's no ports, obviously. They're hostile territory. So, but families have described the conditions as hellish. So, yeah, they're running out of rations. You can only resupply the water so many times because you got to desalinate it and recycle it. So the water is probably dirty, showering, drinking water. Of course, yeah, just running out of food. It's a lack of basic hygiene products. I mean, that's obviously toilet paper, tissue, pork. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, you wouldn't think that would happen in the modern warfare, right? Like I just watched The Odyssey. Obviously different. They didn't have. You were out on those campaigns. They had to camp outside the city of Troy for years. You couldn't get into the city walls. until they made the Trojan horse. But side issue. But then on the way back from the war, I mean, where do you stop? It's not like a modern civilization, although there was like a golden age of that Bronze Age, but there were places to stop. They ran into a lot of issues. That's a side story. That's for the Odyssey. But in the modern era, navigation, technology, communication, it'd be different if Odyssey, because you have modern boats, you'd have communication, you could call people back home, call for a rescue. Couldn't do that back then. So it's wild. It's very alarming stuff. So we're not doing too well in this war. The bases have been under attack in that region. Some of them were rendered inoperable. We're losing a lot of missiles, defensive missiles, because they get attacked. You can't get close to the Iran because all the drones come after you. It'd be very difficult to launch a land invasion because of the terrain, the way Iran is just built. With the mountains and the deserts and the sea. It's just not a good idea. This was a terrible idea. And we're paying a big price for this. And it's a lot of it because Trump's getting his advice from people like Mark Levin and not people like Joe Kent, who has left the administration, expressed his concerns. Tulsi Gabbard also left. So, running out of good people in the administration. I don't know what's going to happen. But he's talking about traitors are people who lie and get our troops killed in needless wars that don't serve our country. He's actually calling out Laura Loomer in this tweet. But he says the Israeli lobby knows this war has been a disaster for public support and they are panicking. Its advocates are working overtime to try and justify the mess they got our country into. They got a problem with these midterms. And we just saw last night voting turnout. Looks like the Democrats are going to win this in a landslide. The communists. So this is one of the big concerns that I have. Midterms 2028. It's the radical left socialist communists versus the radical right Zionists. And then the America First seems to be poisoned by a bunch of Fed boys. It's looking grim, everybody. Trying to stay positive, but man, it's wild. I know Joe Kent is working. I don't know if there's any kind of resistance hope with the Tucker Carlson, Thomas Massey, and whatnot. If they're gonna get some sort of a resistance, and whether that would stand a chance, or whether they could win or do anything if they did win, I don't know. But I can tell you, Joe Kent, I think, is a good dude. He is one of the great patriots. So. We're saying, yes, now that we've started this war, killed the supreme leader, and bombed a girls' school in Iran, radicalizing the Iranians, we've essentially encouraged a self-fulfilling prophecy and will likely experience blowback terrorism here at home. So manipulating and inflating intelligence is how we got into the disastrous Iraq war, which I've already mentioned. We should know better. But thanks to the Israeli lobby and its paid influencers, we've ended up in this situation yet again, this time with a much more consequential country and a war that is shaping up to be an even bigger mess. Absolutely. And he would know. After having served, Iraq is one thing, Afghanistan is another thing, Syria, Iran is a big one. Libya, which we ruined. Ugh. Yeah, it's not good. Our foreign policy has been disastrous, and this administration wasn't supposed to do this kind of stuff. And here we are. It couldn't have worked out much worse, man. And he was getting Joe Kent in the cabinet was a good thing, man. It really. Now he's gone. Tulsi's gone. RFK is sort of neutered, but he's still okay. Bongina was a huge disappointment. Kash Patel was a bigger disappointment. Pam Bondi I wasn't really sold on, but Shiva, of course, was a disappointment. So we're in trouble. We are in trouble. Okay, here's Ben Shapiro. He's trying to meme the woke 2.0. So I guess this is the new strategy. Israel's hated. The new polls are disastrous. I think public support for Israel's dropped, I swear, to like 60%. Something ridiculous. Like the vast majority of Americans now have a negative opinion of Israel. I used to be like maybe 70% in favor. Now I'm like 7% in favor. I'm got the Israel fatigue now. Used to be a little critical, but now things are getting to be, they've gone too far. So now they're just trying to sell you on, the communist Democrats. Oh, it's Mamdani and this El Sayed from Michigan. Oh my God. We got to stop them. You got to vote for Republicans. You got to vote for more Israel first Zionists that are getting AIPAC money. It's disaster. Just terrible. We are in so much trouble. Okay. Anyway, we'll see. I might be a way out of it. It's going to be a battle, man. Our forefathers dealt with worse. There is hope, but it's going to be difficult. Anyway, and of course, he's accusing Abdul al-Sayed of opposing U.S. funding for Israel simply because he hates Jews. I'm so sick of this talking point. Anybody remotely critical of Israel are saying, hey, why are we giving all this money to Israel? They can handle themselves. Oh, you just hate Jews. No, I just think we should focus on our own problems. Anyway, we'll move on. Here's Tucker Carlson. He just made a big video today. I haven't even watched it. Yeah, the other talking point about the overpriced burritos. Because now it's like, hey, the gas prices are too high. The food costs are going up. We didn't need this war. Now they're just saying, hey, it's no big deal. It's worth the money. We're going to get rid of Iran. We're going to ensure the future. We're going to prevent future wars. And we're going to make sure there's no communists taking over. Great. So that's the best we get. Yeah, I'm really starting to question our greatest ally, whether they're really on our side or not. In fact, I'm going to play, here's a quick video from a great man who passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. I think it was something to do with COVID. Great patriot, Robert David Steele. 2018, one of the last things he said, a true whistleblower here. Former CIA, but he was aggressive. He was good. He is sorely missed. But he was very critical. He'd call it the Neocons. That's a good description as well. Let's hear him in his own words. They still ring true today, I'm sure. Here we go. And Zionism and the deep state are completely intertwined. Wow. I wish he would have been right there, because I could only imagine what would happen. And that was way before his time. I don't even know if I would have said so. If I was been pretty critical of Bibi Netanyahu and Israeli foreign policy. That would have been nice. But it was really after the October 7th and the overreaction, and now the Gaza genocide. Horrifying. The blatant war crimes now dragging us into another war. Now I've really turned definitely more on the Zionists, and so has America. They have spoken, and this is a problem. These have become parasites to our republic. These are people they are anti-American and they are anti-Christian, and they have way too much money and power, and they are using us, in my opinion, for their own benefit, and they are bribing and blackmailing many of our politicians. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, this is 2018. But this is happening. This is still going on. This is a major thing. If they could get away with it, they would. They're trying to pass. They've already bought TikTok. They had Larry Ellison buy TikTok. They could censor war crimes. Can't criticize Israel anymore. And what was the other? I mean, Jonathan Greenblatt, ADL. They're trying to go after everybody. I watched the Fox News. That's all they talk about. Anti-Semitism. Oh, they hate Jews. Kami Mandami. It's all the same stuff over and over. Not allowed to criticize. You just hate Jews. Why don't you just admit it, Blake? You just hate Jews. No, I don't hate Jews. I love American Jews. I love Jews that love America. But if you're interested in this foreign fake country run by people that are mostly they're not even Semites, they're Eastern Europeans or Ukrainian and Polish. Bibi Netanyahu is Polish. Milikowski. Anyway, the Rothschild funded the big banks, the deep state, CIA, Mossad, Israel, all around that same timeline. And it's been just... our foreign policy has been a disaster for decades. And a big reason for that is because of our greatest ally, our constant support. And for a long time, it was try to help them out. They were good guys. Everything was on our side. But they manipulate us. We gave them the big oopsie for the Iraq thing. No WMDs. But if they're going to pull this shit again to get us involved in their wars, and we got Trump his strings are being pulled by Bibi and Miriam Adelson and Howard Lutnick, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro. And we're not pro-America anymore. We're with Kushner. Surrounded by a lot of very powerful Zionists who have other interests. They'd rather milk America and use our military and enrich Israel, all to Israel's benefit. That's a concern. I hope that comes true now in 2026 because a lot has changed since then. This was way before his time. If people knew what he knew, yes, they should have. They should have been alarmed. Holy, how do we have so many people on the payroll of AIPAC? Why are we fighting all these stupid wars? Why is this other country telling us what we can and cannot say? They're anti-American. They're anti-Christian. They want to tell us what to do? Wow, was he ahead of his time, man. Hell yeah. There we go. Well done. Good to see Robert David Steele again. Still uses words as a weapon from beyond the grave. 8 years. Cool beans. All right. Well, I've only got, two other quick stories. Those are the two main ones. Got the two major ones, and then the other two are just for funsies. I don't know how long they're going to go. I've already gone longer than I thought I would. I'll clean it up. It's the first show back. Tighten it up. I had to give a lot of backstory. It's been a while. It's been 11 months since I have done a solo broadcast. Okay, what's the next one? Brief one. How about What's the future? I used to have a slate. I don't have the headline slate anymore. What's the future going to be like with with all the AI coming out? And there's a tweet. So watching this. Guess who's back? So Chase Geyser, formerly of Infowars, has moved to Nashville. He's doing a show with his friend Stephen Bach. They call it Guess Who's Back. And they were talking about, it's an interesting show. They're kind of talking about the future, the coming Hunger Games economy. Because what's going to happen? All the AI is going to start, replacing people. It's going to take all these menial jobs away, which in one way is good. If humanity was trending in a positive direction, I'd love to see people work less, have more time for themselves. But I mean, the AI is there's so many just useless jobs out there that AI can easily do. But what are the people going to do? They have no purpose. We're just going to give like a UBI, universal basic income. I don't know how things are going to play out. It almost seems like there's not going to be enough resources going around. And now we have this controversy with, the data centers taking up land, taking up enormous amount of resources. What are we going to do? What's going to give? How's the future going to play out? People are going to be living in micro apartments, going to be plugged into VR video games. I don't know. But I was talking about this. I was watching part of the segment. We could watch some of it, talking about Mr. Beast. And let's get into this. Talking about how Mr. Beast does some of these like little game show things. And they're kind of fun. Get a bunch of people together, put them in a circle. And the last one that stays in the circle wins a car. Stuff like that. And then we go off the rails in a good way. Fear factor. Eat that donkey dick. Raw. His ass. Women are on it's the OnlyFans culture. And then what are men going to do? They'll degrade themselves and work all day for a bowl of soup. But are we heading that way? I don't want to joke about it, but I mean, things are getting weird out there, man. People can barely afford groceries. The debt's out of control. Dollar's losing its value. People are going to lose all their jobs to AI. We're running out of space. Something's got to give. Do we think all of these, big tech billionaires give a shit about the peasant class? What are they going to do? Everyone's just going to get free money? Stay at home, play games, watch Netflix? Or are they going to be, going to have to cull the herd somehow? Flock cameras. More taxes and the dollar's getting deflated, or inflation of the dollar is making it worth less. We'll be competing. It'll be like the Hunger Games. However, where I used to agree with that. I think that's where a lot of people thought the David Icke, and we're heading towards the Hunger Games future, and the elites would just rule over us. We just compete for food. We could live peacefully on the plantations under our surveillance grid. So, I don't know, but I think now with the AI is what I'm posting on this. Because I said I used to think Hunger Games was the future, but since the AI advancements, it'll probably be Squid Games. Too many poor and stupid people, not enough fresh water and energy to feed all the hungry data centers. Haha. A tragedy that could also be turned into a twisted game show. That's a hell of an opportunity right there. People fighting for food, for resources. Because in the Squid Games, it was like the desperate people that were in just so much hopeless amount of debt. They could never, pay it back. What are they going to do? They could all compete for this game show and win a ton of money. Then you find out that not too many of them survive. And it's just all entertainment for the elites. Similar to the Hunger Games. We get the idea. So you think we're going to get a dystopian game show in our future as they try to cull the herd and decide who lives and who dies? If there's not enough resources, not enough money, not enough food to go around, what are you going to do? Plus, you could capitalize on the entertainment value if you put these people against each other. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's absolutely horrifying. But here we are. We are living in the absurdist dystopia. This is like The Running Man. Another one. The original is fantastic. The second one is god-awful. I hated that one. The remake is terrible. But are we going to set up game shows with the peasants so they can fight to survive, for the entertainment, for the elites? I don't know. Be worried about humanity going forward. We are not heading towards the future I was hoping for. So, anyway, one final story on a more happy note, perhaps. Let's go one more. This one is from Shipwreck. Got the idea today. I think she's also on hiatus. Another demoralized influencer or reporter, independent media person. She's been doing content for a while, but I think she's got burnt out on it too. So I don't know if she's doing it. I think she's kind of checked out a little bit, but she's still making videos. So cooking videos and what have you. But she's talking about the short list of things she will plug back into the Matrix for, which I thought was interesting. Because I sort of believe in this spiritual evolution. And it kind of took me on a journey because speaking of David Icke, I've been reading his book recently, his latest one. I'm only maybe 100 pages into it. I'm not sure. The Roadmap. He's talking about the Loosh Farms. And I'm also a big fan of Dolores Cannon, who's a hypnotherapist. And of course, the Matrix. There's the, human. Are we living in some sort of fake reality? Is this all a spiritual simulation of some sorts? Some of these things kind of tie together. But in the Matrix, we were all basically plugged in. The AI had taken over and was just using humans as basically batteries and then just feeding us a fake reality while we just lived peacefully in our little cocoons, oblivious to the world that had been stolen from us. Not to spoiler alert, even though it's from 27 years ago. Let's take a look at this quick video here from Shipwreck, and then we'll expand upon that. I'm on board with that one. It's a great one. And, NFL football season, cooling off, pumpkin spice, fall is good. Well, let's see what she's saying. For me, I'm taking this as a perspective of, what I want to come back to the great shit show, that this reality that we call Earth at this time, civilization collapsing, sort of a new Rome, like the late stage Rome when everything is just decadent, it's bread and circus, it's corrupt, it's all falling apart, no one cares. Or it could be like Odysseus, the Odyssey. But they hit the Bronze Age collapse. Resources are running scarce. There's the mysterious sea people. They're coming. They're taking over. They're the end of this beautiful golden age and all the beautiful trading routes around the Mediterranean. And then all of a sudden, it's just years of drought, and then things get worse. There's running out of resources, and then people start attacking each other, and civilization goes through sort of a dark age, and it could take decades, it could take centuries before it rebuilds society again. I don't know if we're there or not. Try to be optimistic, but I don't know. But I think of, is this, one lifetime? Do we go through, is there a spiritual journey? Do you go through multiple lifetimes? Because right now, if things end, I don't want to come back to Earth and deal with this shit show and the crazy people and the crazy reality and just the divisive nature, the people and the cognitive dissonance. I find the reality so frustrating. For me, it's torturous because I feel like I have this utopia in my mind and I can see how things should work, and then it's not the way things work. And people are stubborn and they're frustrated and they're in their own way, and we're watching our country, our beloved republic, collapse. And people are reaching out to the wrong people. We don't trust our politicians. I just don't trust our neighbors. It's rough. Do I want to come back? No. This is awesome. Like I said earlier, this is great no matter what. Even if things don't work out, the Earth is finished. This civilization is on the verge of collapsing again. It was still cool to get the front row seat on this spiritual journey, to be a part of it. Front row seat to one of the coolest movies in the galaxy. But would I want to come back? No, I mean, the music is great. The dogs, she's saying the birds. There's cool things. But I mean, I almost want to move on. If there was a choice, no, get me out of this place. Get me off the Earth. I'm done. I don't know if there's any hope. I don't know if you can fix these people, man. So it's a tough call. But it also goes into what David Icke. So where I'm stopped on this David Icke book is a very interesting chapter. It was dealing with the prison planet and the escape. Because according to him, there's a couple different philosophies. And I was talking about this with an AI program from Mike Adams, the Enoch, and talking about comparing Dolores Cannon philosophy, hypnotizing people, talking to their subconscious, hearing that they've gone into multiple lifetimes, hearing people that unrelated people from all over the country, hypnotizing them, and they'll talk about how they go into past lives, and this is all just a journey. It's like a classroom, and it's just the journey of the soul, and you go on to different things. But in David Icke's world, it's more of this is a loosh farm. And what the loosh is that loosh is human energy. It's almost it's like the Matrix. So in the Matrix, the AI feeds off the humans, and they give us a false reality. So that's what David Icke's view would be. In some way, I don't want to oversimplify it or speak for him. I haven't finished the whole book, and I know he's got the reptilian stuff. We're not even getting into that. But what he's talking about is that there's these entities, and it goes into the Bible. It goes into ancient knowledge that there are these non-physical entities, these archons or what have you, that feed off of humanity, and they feed off the low vibes. So it's almost like they keep us here on this earth, on this planet, as like a livestock that they feed off of. And it kind of ties into the symbolism of the Matrix. AI is feeding us, And in this, the archons, they're feeding us a fake reality while they feed on us. But they try to keep us in a negative frame. They keep us in despair and depression and wars and suffering, and that it's good for them. Otherwise, they starve. They're basically parasitic. And so, in his view, which I'm not dismissing, is that when you die, the human body dies, and some people would think they go to heaven or hell. And some people, think that they go on to another lifetime. And some of them say you meet people you knew in life. So like that's how you know you're in the right place, is because you meet your grandparents or your old people that you knew that died. Familiar faces will come to visit you and say, hey, congratulations, you died and now you're here in the afterworld and I'm going to help you through it. And so some people take comfort in that. Either you're going to be greeted by Jesus or Buddha or, Muhammad, whatever you believe in, you're going to see, or Grammy and Grampy, whatever. But the point is, they will take you on. That's how you know you're going to trust them. You go towards the light. You go with trusted people, and they say, yeah, just come with us, and we'll take you. We'll show you around the new place, the heaven, whatever we want to call it. And you go there, and then you just get recycled. It's all a trap. It's just you're going to recycle you, and you're going to be reborn again, but into the loosh farm. So it's just like you're reborn, and you're just going to continue living lifetime after lifetime on Earth as livestock food for on the loosh farm for the archons. But Dolores Cannon would say, I don't know, that if she would say that, yes, there are definitely dark entities and they do feed off of the people, and they could attach, they could play tricks, they could do things, but maybe they're not in total control of the planet. So it kind of throws you for a loop when you read the David Icke stuff, and you're like, oh, well, what do I do then? So if I die and I see Grandma and Grandpa and Jesus and Buddha and everybody, and they're all like, hey, man, trust us, come with us, am I going to say no? Because you might just be the archons, and this is part of the simulated reality, and you're tricking me, and now I'm going to go where? He didn't leave, he left off there. So I don't have, it calls the roadmap, so maybe he'll come back to it, because now I need a battle plan. But what do I do when I die? Because I want to get off of this planet. I want to go somewhere. I want to get away from humanity. But you guys are on your own. I tried. It was cool. Hey, great. Good luck to everybody. But I've, it's been frustrating enough. Although I enjoy this. And I like the music. I like dogs. I like so many of the good memories and the football in the fall. And it's a beautiful planet. But, there's other things to explore. It's a great universe out there. And if there's other adventures to take, I'd like to go take a look and what other options may be out there. Or maybe they're going to hold me back. I don't know. It could be like, this is a spiritual school. And they're going to say, Blake, you fucked up too many things and now you're going to have to redo it again. And I'm going to go, no. Or I'm going to get tricked by my grandparents to coming back and being part of the loose food loop. And I'll get stuck here again, and I know so much, and I got to reset and restart from scratch again in a new lifetime and hope that I can stumble into even a fraction of the knowledge that I found in this lifetime. So many existential questions. But anyway, this is the show. This is the Gonzo Lounge. So, hope anyone out there listening got some infotainment value out of it. I'm probably going to call it. I was only expecting to go an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. It's already past midnight, so I'm almost at the 2-hour mark right now. This is a good time to cut it. But it's been a pleasure. First time in 11 months. So thank you all for anybody out there listening. I have no idea. Listening, catching the replay. I'll probably cut some clips. Perhaps we'll do it again. We'll see where this goes. It's always fascinating stuff going on in the news. That's for damn sure. But I've covered enough on this episode so far. It's been fun. Maybe we'll do it again. was kind of softly thinking Wednesdays and Saturday nights, but we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, that's all I've got. Have a wonderful evening out there for everybody out there. Take care. See you next time, but I am out.